check it out. I'm back. It's almost 2 o'clock in the morning where I'm at, but this is probably airing somewhere in the news hours when people are awake. And we're back. That sounds in a good note. I think I'm going to re-edit the music on that. Good evening, good morning. It is 10. It is really late at night, but I'm up for two reasons. One, I had a crazy dream that woke me, which is weird enough because I usually am asleep by now anyway. So I think somebody in my brain was telling me to get up and draw. So um, I've been doing a lot of drawing videos, and I'm enjoying the hell out of it. But what I haven't done is something just for fun. I've been doing a lot of drawing for my Kickstarter and for the old Kickstarter and the new Kickstarter and sketch covers and commissions. Um, since I'm up in the middle of the night and art is my therapy, I thought I would do one just for me, um, but share it with you. Um, oh my goodness! I remember when I worked at 911 as a dispatcher briefly. They recorded me and played back how many times I said and pause. And it's painful. But if you ever want to get better at the public speaking or broadcasting, record yourself like that and then listen back to it and it will um drive you nuts. So, um let's turn the camera on here and I think I'm gonna come up with something right off the fly. I know the light's giving me a bit of a dark shadow here, but I really want to spotlight on the drawing part. I think my past video was that not a bright light on the paper. I actually see a little bit better what we're doing. What I do when I'm in need of just some mental therapy is I draw the Hulk, and I'm gonna do. Hmm. All right, you should be able to still hear me. Let me just make this the full screen here. So, if you followed me for more than 2 minutes, you know that I'm a big Incredible Hulk fan. I got a new Hulk figure. I'm super excited. Great articulation. We're not going to do a figure review, so we are going to do an art review of something I'm going to draw, and I don't know what it's going to look like until it's done. But what's always relaxed me since I was a kid was drawing comics. That's really the main reason that I chose comics as a medium instead of something else that I could probably make more money at. And the Hulk in particular. The Hulk has been my favorite comic since I was a kid. The shadow on bugging me. I'm just gonna make up something. Actually, I think I'm gonna do a Maestro today. Yeah, let's do a Maestro. In case you don't know, Maestro is the evil future version of the Hulk. Created by Peter David, made popular by Peter David, written by other writers since, but never quite. Nobody's ever mastered it. Once a guy like Peter David creates a character, uh, sure, some other people can take him on and tell stories of him, but the guy's a master. And while other characters may have been made more popular by better writers, there is literally no better writers, I think, on the planet than Peter David. So, started with some basic shapes. Um, I was filling in the head here. Maestro has is bald headed. And then he's got this enormous brow, so I gave him a big shape here to make his brows. I mean, they're really, really, really exaggerated. I'm gonna rough out a beard shape here. Got a big long Santa beard, and then long hair. I wish I had it with me. I got a new Maestro action figure that is I think and I think for me the hair and beard just being super long show that the future version of the Maestro just um, wanted in every way possible to not look like his former self. Like he's not the Hulk. He doesn't call himself Hulk and go by the Hulk. He's essentially a version of the Professor Hulk in the sense that he's got all his brains about him. He knows he's Banner. He thinks like Banner, but he's um, adopted this persona, this future version of him has let go of the past, angry about everything. And as far as he's concerned, everyone has betrayed him. Either died or betrayed him. And in a sense, he's kind of gone mad. He soaked up radiation from tons of nuclear fallout because his body takes radiation differently than he always has. That probably became the Hulk instead of dying as Bruce Banner with the gamma bomb. But that radiation messed with his brain and pushed him even further into madness. That, along with the fact that as he got more powerful, everyone he knew, some way or form, betrayed him. But it also made him super, super strong. I mean, he looks old. He's gonna be wrinkled and got the long hair and beard like Santa Claus, but he is no slouch. Like he is not Mr. Beat. He's the most beard creature in all of dystopia, which is the future version of, well, it's like a post-apocalyptic world, like after Doctor Doom even has died off. I mean, years and years, centuries almost. He's about, I think, 200 years old, and he's outlived them all. I'm not sure if I want to do this with gray tone or keep going pencil. Really like where I'm going. Maestro was originally drawn by George Perez, who is a genius and a legend. Very few on this earth can can do what George Perez can do with a pencil the detail. Oh my God! Look up George Perez, man. The detail and the level of like worlds he can create. I like to put a few random hairs in here so that his head isn't smooth. Sometimes I do the Maestro. His head's always kind of smooth this way, but I think because it's like his hair is just left to go, not trimmed or shaped in any way. It's just long and long and long. I feel like you have some random straight strings there. And a ton of wrinkles, much like the Tom McFarlane Hulk. In fact, I feel like the Hulk was always based on the Gray Hulk. It just in the sense that there's no small squish. His face is kind of square, although you can't really see it. His jaws are, his cheekbones, I mean, are very edgy and distinct. So, and he's very squinty, partly because of this brow right over it. And then it's just like the enormous brow. Oh yeah, Maestro was always also has like some like liver spots on his head and his arms, and like his skin has aged. And I think the thing is, it's not that the Hulk doesn't age; it's just that it's impervious and we it regenerates. But even we, as our skin grows and we lose skin and new skin comes up, we still maintain wrinkles as we age and stuff, and that's sort of shown in the Maestros. Where I like drawing long hair; it gives me a chance to play with the details here too. I'm gonna watch the time on this because I don't want it to go too long. I'm trying to cut my videos down. I tend to lose time. Talk about this every day. I tend to lose time when I'm drawing. So if I zone out or space out when I'm not talking, forgive me. I think what I'm going to do at some point is play with my video editor and figure out better ways to speed up certain parts. Like I can talk for a minute and then do it like a quick one of those quick sped up videos, so you don't have to listen to me ramble or run on, or I don't have to keep coming up with stuff to say. I feel like I have a guest in my house and I have to be entertaining you. This is not your fault. It's just a weird feeling to be recording myself talking. But I've committed myself to putting my work out there in different ways, and that's not an easy thing for for someone like me. And yeah, I'm an artist, and I want to show my work off to the world, and I want to put my creations out there. But at the same time, I'm incredibly introverted, and I don't like promoting myself. And I thought I was alone until I started taking this comic book course and talking with other people. And so turns out it's a pretty common trait among comic book artists. We, as comic book guys, just we just want to draw. We just want to make our work. And even whether you're a writer or an artist, it almost doesn't matter from what I can tell because my strength isn't in marketing. My strength isn't in promotion. It's become a very important part of what we do, though. Okay. You know what's funny? I'm gonna give you another secret. Um, like this right here. What I'm doing with these lines. I'm actually stalling. I'm working on another part of the picture that I don't need to be working on right now. Adding some depth and shading because I'm also trying to figure out where else I'm going to go down here. So as I'm thinking, my hand doesn't stop moving, but sometimes it's not. Uh, it looks deliberate, but it's not deliberate. It's more like my brain is stalling, keeping myself from pausing on the picture all the while. I'm literally panicking in half my head because I don't know where this is going. Um, I know that he's hunched over. I'm picturing. So I talk about this in my videos a lot. In my mind, I'm picturing a skeleton, and so when I'm picturing where to go next, I'm imagining the spine. You can't see it because I'm not drawing it, but I'm imagining it. So I've got head, neck, shoulders, clavicle, and I'm thinking, where's his spine going to be? Well, it's not going to be here because he's not standing up straight. He's hunched over. So I'm actually going to have his spine go kind of here, which means his waist is going to be more like this. The Hulk now, although very low body fat, he's got like an insane um, proportions of his muscles. So not a small tight six pack. It's going to be oversized and sort of almost ridiculous. But again, he's humanoid, but he's a monster. He's also not a natural just human. In fact, it's one of the reasons he hates being human. He doesn't like humans because he's not quite one of them. Trickiest part about Maestro for me is his clothes, because it's my instinct to draw the Hulk without a shirt. And the Maestro sometimes does or doesn't have a shirt and a vest. He does have a necklace, and the necklace goes almost completely underneath his beard. So I'm going to draw just a hint of it. It is basically a bunch of circles. Got one large circle at the bottom, and then it's a series of other circles all the way around. Never really shown what it signifies. I always felt like it was maybe supposed to be a throwback to the stuff he wore when he was as the Hulk. He was the king of Jorilla's world, and that's another deep dive into the comics if you haven't read them. Um, Basically, Jorilla's world is a microscopic uh, universe or planet, maybe, but it's basically a tiny, tiny, tiny. The Hulk is shrunk down like to microscopic, atom-sized, and there's a whole universe within that where he, the mindless Hulk, falls in love, becomes a ruler, takes a queen. Not too dissimilar from the Planet Hulk story, um, but also not the same. But I always did feel like elements of that, especially if you watch Ragnarok in the movie, I think elements of the Jorella's World stories come through in that, whether intentional or otherwise, because I know the old Sakaar thing was taken from the Planet Hulk and World War Hulk era by Greg Pak. Let's see, I'm giving him a fist up close because I want to show some depth. I don't want to do it on both sides, or do I? Let's see, maybe I do. I don't. I kind of want his hand to be off panel here. So let's see, shoulder to an elbow to a wrist to I would only see. Yeah. All right. So we're just gonna see part of the Hulk's hand in this one because that's what I decided. Oh my goodness. I'm very embarrassed to say I now have a favorite YouTuber, and I will share somewhere in the comments or on another page. There's a guy named Ryan George who works with Screen Rant and also is in a group called Moving Mind Studios. And he does and you've probably seen him because apparently he's incredibly famous. I just haven't gotten into him until recently. But he does a series called Pitch Meetings, where he plays a character who's a movie exec and a character who's a writer who's written a movie, and he's pitching a movie. He plays both characters, so he's pitching to himself. And he's got these funny gags that he puts into every video, and then he kind of lampoons the movies. And it's funny because it's obvious that he's a fan. Like he does. I started by watching the Hulk screen pitch meetings because hey, I love the Hulk, right? And it totally makes fun of all of the gaffes in the Hulk, both Hulk movies, really. And he's got over 100 of them. They are freaking hilarious. He's got a tone to his character. It's goofy, it's silly, it's a little funny, it's smart, but it's also somehow dumb. Like it's got stupid jokes in there, but it pokes fun at the movies. It doesn't take them very seriously. I gotta put nipples on the Hulk. I'm just say it out loud. Lots of people draw the Hulk without nipples, and superheroes too. If you ever see them, a lot of times they'll have no definition and no nipples. And it looks to me when it's like that, it looks like they're wearing a shirt because people have nipples. I don't know if it's lazy or if it's intentional or style choice. I feel like it's kind of lazy. Like you're just skipping it because it's not easy to make nipples look good. And I don't think my nipples look great. I just think that I allude to them, a little squiggle, something you got to have a hint there. And I think your mind doesn't focus on the nipple unless you make it really detailed. So I don't. I don't. All right, my video is going on 20 minutes now, and I have barely done anything except talk about somebody else on YouTube. Great, I'm putting my own YouTube video out, and I'm talking about other YouTubers. So the Maestro also really doesn't have ripped clothes going on. I made this a little bulgy. He's got scalloped wristbands too, but because of the positioning of his hands, we're not going to see any of that. I feel like the Maestro should have rings or something. The Maestro is his muscles to me are just even more tight, taut, and veiny. So I'm gonna put a little extra veins in here. I mean, I feel like his muscles should be a character themselves and be like more not human, even more not human than the obvious exaggeration of him. So he's got sort of a belt here, and then he's got tight pants. He's got like weird spandexy pants for no particular reason. When we run into Maestro in the future, he's beaten everybody already, and he's just sitting on his throne ruling. He's uh he's got people doing his bidding. If he likes you, you're cool and you're in. If he can use you, he's got a harem of women, all of whom are called Betty, which is weird. Um, and then yet somehow not weird. I mean, the Hulk and Banner now being one. I'm going to do some squigglies here because I just like to do that. I don't want this to be anything too descriptive. I just want it to be some weird random filigree. And because this is a sketch, I'm not going to get too crazy into it. So the Maestro, the future Hulk, he's just, like I said, he's like the Hulk, but he's broken. He's mad, he's evil, and he's just like, to hell with it. I'm taking over and I'm ruling. Taking everything I can get from this world. It's never been good to me. I owe it nothing. Puny humans, and the thing of the future too, humans messed the world up. So he's just like, you guys screwed the planet up anyway. You blew it up. You blew each other up. You ruined it at all. I'm gonna rule what's left of it because whatever's left is mine. The strongest wins, and I've always been the strongest there is. Use another pencil for some of this shading. Cat's trying to get on the action here, but I'm not gonna let her. Bartleby, you have no part in my video. So I know it's become a trope, especially in Marvel movies, that the villain is always the like same but opposite of the heroes. So like Iron Man fights an iron monster. Bartleby, I don't want to feed or water you anymore. Hush now. Um, like Thor, God fights his sister or another god. Um, but I think that's a trope for a reason. It's one of those things. My favorite thing about like the Superman movies was always Christopher Reeves fighting the angry Christopher Reeves, dark drunk Christopher Reeves battling himself. And the thing about the Hulk, the best Hulk villain is always another Hulk. I say this as someone who does not like the fact that they keep making more Hulks, but there was some great work in the late '80s. I'm doing that cross-hatching thing again, by the way. I talk about that in my other videos because my new project is called Hatched, and I took that from the word cross-hatched, which is this kind of cross shading that I'm doing right here. Usually more detailed, but this is a rough sketch, and I like it being rough. So I want to capture some of that rough energy. So I'm going a little darker now. Giving it depth where it needs it. Anyway, the best Hulk villain is always a Hulk, because if the Hulk's the strongest one there is, who can touch him? The Abomination? Psh, no. They can say all they want. The Abomination is as strong as the Hulk, but he's even if that were true, which it's not. I'll tell you why in a second. Nobody can match the Hulk for other reasons. The stronger he gets, the madder he gets, the stronger he gets. His pure rage is it's a villain of its own, man. It's a character. The Incredible Hulk is not just, oh, he's strong, he's muscular. He is a warrior. He's a monster. He's a beast. And the notion that you can just give somebody muscles, and throw them at him is insulting to the history of the character. Frankly, I hate when you do that. But I know you got to give him someone that's a challenge. So you give him somebody like the Abomination, or sometimes they'll fight the Juggernaut or the Thing. Somebody with a lot of muscles, somebody really strong, and that's great. You can present a challenge for him, but he's the Hulk, and he doesn't lose. The Maestro says it best. He says, I've experienced temporary setbacks, but I've never lost. Maestro was born out of the Smart Hulk era, the Professor Hulk that we've come to know, and was intended to be, I think, a version of that. I tend to think the Maestro is actually a whole separate personality. Banner being a multiple personality disorder sufferer. Let's see. I'm seeing some of the dark. I like putting the dark in when I'm putting it. Yeah, I was wondering if I want to do this in gray tones, but I decided not. Do a little bit of stuff here. I like lines. I woke up from this wicked nightmare tonight, and I'm not gonna talk about my dream, but it's funny because whenever I'm feeling, weird or rough or have a bad dream, pick up a pen or a pencil. And that is my therapy. I have my first, not my first, my second comic label that I was trying to start. I called it ink therapy because literally, um, it is how I relax. It's how I center myself by drawing pictures. Um, anyway, so it occurs to me like, why do I draw comics? Why do I draw pictures at all? And I thought of this line like it popped in my head like I have demons or I'm fighting demons and they're afraid of my lines. So I feel like when I'm making pictures, I'm keeping them at bay, almost as if, say, this Hulk here that I'm drawing, this anger that I'm putting into the Maestro, is working for me. It's a weird thought, I suppose, but it's part of my process. Okay, about a minute here. I'm coming up on a half an hour for this drawing, so I'm going to let it go. Let's put a couple of details in here as I'm looking at it on the camera. See if I'm missing anything. I think I like doing this with a monitor to look at. So when I'm looking at the page, I don't see everything the same way I see it on screen. So many times I'm drawing a picture and on paper right in front of me, it looks great to me. Um, when I'm not picking it apart because I have no self confidence. And I think a picture's good, and I'm like, oh, let's get this done. Let's put it out, and I scan it and I send it off to my writer, my publisher, my printer, or just post it on Facebook or whatever. And sure enough, as soon as I post it and see it on a screen, it looks different. It looks like I catch mistakes, or it looks like it needs to be reversed. Sometimes when you're drawing a character leaning, you make it look like he's leaning too much the wrong way. Okay, a little more depth in his eyes. He's angry. Don't want to see. Okay, if I shoot, I stepped on it. Once I give more depth to his eyes, I got to add more depth elsewhere because his whole head here looks wrong. There's a shadow there. Oh yeah, and then there would be a shadow under his nose, and then a shadow under his lip, and then a shadow under here. Um, more veins, wrinkles on the knuckles. We all have wrinkles on our knuckles. The Hulk's skin, to me, especially the old Hulk, looks best when it's wrinkly and elephant-like. So I'm a big fan of putting more of that. Not only because it's just more detail, and detail equals fun, but it creates the illusion that it's impenetrable. When the skin is smooth, it just looks like regular skin. If it looks like my skin, you'd be like, what? I could shoot a bullet through that. You could hit the vein here. But if the Hulk, if his skin, even though there's veins, if his skin looks rough and rocky, you 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 could almost believe that he is indestructible, and that's part of his power, his strength. He can face just about anything. Very few things can even cut or make him bleed, like Wolverine's adamantium claws, maybe. All right. So he's a little oversized in this, but it's intentional because the Maestro has more muscle mass than your average Hulk. He's lived a lot longer, and his muscles aren't natural, and that's the other cool thing. You can screw with the proportions and the anatomy because the Hulk he doesn't work out to get these muscles. He doesn't do crunches to get a six pack. His muscles are not um, naturally forming. They're um, not supernatural, but they coming through the transformation and the gamma radiation and stuff. They're not just your average human Lou Ferrigno bodybuilder. Otherwise, he really wouldn't be this tight, and his muscles would be more proportionate. I do like to give more definition to his pecs. This is where I need to stop myself because I could do this all night. This is the Maestro by me, Ken Lenar. Once I sign it, that means it's over. So I signed it, it's done, 2021. Okay, let's get this square, show it off a little bit. I might scan this and do a digital color overlay of this because I'm a fan. And I'm back. Oh, wow, and I'm on the wrong side. Okay, this has been another sketch video for me. I didn't want to do anything self-congratulatory or promotional right now, even though I'm running a Kickstarter, and you can click the link in the comments. I just wanted to share with you my process and what I do to relax. And when I'm relaxing, I'm probably more than likely drawing some version of the Incredible Hulk. Thank you guys. Let me remind you that life is hard, but you're not alone. And so help yourself, help each other, take care of yourself and pass that on by helping take care of someone else. Thank you. Check us out again. I'll be doing live streams like every other day. Take care.